Hi, my name is Phyllis Y. Whitley. They call me Miss P, and I am here to tell you some good revelation, good appetizer, excuse me, from what? Spiritology, my book. From my book, I went to Spiritology Live, which is my podcast. And from my podcast, I'm doing Spiritology Un. It's really unapologetic, church, and unmuted. That's why we are here today. We're going to give you a tad bit information or revelation for those of you who just don't seem to manifest. It could be career, job, it could be husband, wife, relationship. And we are going to dive in somewhat deep into this particular subject. Can't manifest? Part two. This is 58 episode. It will be listed down at the bottom. You might be in the wrong season. What do you mean, Miss P? I'm in the wrong season. Are you in a relationship that went on for 15 years and then the man or maybe the woman got up and met somebody and within 3 months they got married? Those 15 years was something you can look back and learn. But is it a possibility you had all the signals and red flags that, mm, just like a farmer get, he have to prune his weeds come in. If he don't go and prune it, he has a mess. He won't even reap the crop that he wants. Okay, let me give you another analogy. You in school, you in college, and you just can't get out of being a freshman because you don't study, you don't want to study, or maybe you don't like your major. You're not going to move forward. I'm trying to help you move forward. I'm trying to get you to go ahead and get that, turn that side hustle into an entrepreneurship or your own business. Write that book. Yes. If you're in a relationship, some cases you may have to see. Maybe the person don't want to go for it with you. Remember, I just said sometimes you with them for 15 years. I can say this because I counsel 90 to 95% of females, and I have heard so many stories, and a lot of them was sad. It's like you stayed there for 15 years. Surely you had signs that this person didn't want to marry you. It's called not manifesting, not getting your heart desire, not checking off your goal. We're going to see what my guest, really my Whisper Vibes team member, have to say about this episode 58. Sheeta, go ahead.
Yes, this one was good. It was also about the different seasons, understanding those seasons, but this one really focused on moving forward and forgiveness and really having a coach for everything to kind of help you navigate your way through the seasons. So I really, really enjoyed this because last episode you talked about recognizing the seasons, and now you're like, okay, how do you navigate and move forward through those seasons? I think forgiveness is one of the hardest things to do, but when you think about it in terms of the seasons, it makes it easier. So if you know that, like you like to say, someone's there for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, if you understand that, then it makes it easier to forgive and move forward than just staying stuck on what didn't happen.
Absolutely. And I think that one of the things that you just pulled out the hat is when you don't want to forgive the person. And I'm not talking about knocking at somebody's door and say, oh my God, I forgive you. I know a lot of spiritual leaders make you do that. You have to understand what, forgiveness is. It's for also moving forth. You going forward. You're not stuck. You're not idle. You're not stuck on my boyfriend broke up with me at 20 and I'm 40 years old and I really just can't shake it and I don't want no relationship. I don't trust nobody. You didn't forgive. Forward yourself. Give them everything they gave you back. And I'm just talking about not physical, in the spiritual sense. Pull up a truck, a spiritual U-Haul, and you put all the stuff, the junk, everything, even the red flags that you missed or act like you didn't see. Put it all in this U-Haul truck. Some ex will have a big truck and some have a little truck. And you put it in the truck and then you call them forth in your spirit and say, here, in your imagination, because I don't want people to say, why she talk about spiritual? Some church people, I have nothing against church. I have a relationship with God, and I think you should have a relationship with God because everybody that go to church do not know who God is. Okay, so when you hear those words, understand what I'm saying. I help you with your spiritual self, holistically, your body, mind, and soul. In the mind, see yourself, giving them everything. And in some cases, you might want to meet up with them and say, I forgive you. Because you know what happens? A lot of people don't know this. You will sit on a psychiatrist's chair for years and spend thousands of dollars, and they want you to, okay? Because they got to eat too. And you will spend all of this money because you still stuck what Johnny did to you 15 years ago. And then you have Mr. Tony in front of you trying to come and be the king you always wanted. It can be a man. You may have someone coming in front of you. Let's say her name is Lisa. And she's there. She might be one of your best friends, but you can't see her because you are looking behind yourself. So therefore, when you pray and always asking God, oh, I want a life mate. I want somebody to love me. The person is standing right there. That's what I mean. You need to forgive that other person because it is a reason or maybe the season that you and that person had to break up, because you might be meditating and praying that you want someone who you can have a beautiful future with. Do you understand? But you won't let go of that person, and so you can't manifest what you're supposed to manifest. Manifestation is movement. It's blessings. It's your desire being answered. You need to go forward, forgive. Let's dive a little deep into part 2 of episode 58, which was about manifestation. In this season of being cursed, you will meet all the wrong people. Y'all think I'm playing? You ever turned around and you just came out of a hectic relationship, and then you look up and you got another hectic relationship? You say, what the blank is this? Same spirit, different face, different names. Hello? Now you know when you're in the wrong season. When you're on the job and everybody start turning against you, or you just so bored. I know people say, I just can't even go into, I just don't feel like getting up and going to the job no more. Hello? Maybe God is telling you in the wrong season. It's time to take off your winter coat. Get what I'm saying? It's the metaphor. You got to know. How about the person that's coming in there? You need to learn from that reason. It's the reason that some people come I discussed this before. I give you another analogy. I mean, it could be somebody that you online talking to, and you waiting for something in the store, and y'all just start talking, and they happen to tell you, oh, you start telling them, I am shopping around for a car, blah blah blah, and they said, well, you know what? I just got a car from this dealership over here, and let me give you the card. That particular reason, that was the season, but it was also a reason that person, you met that person, divine connection. It could be a teacher that give you so much wisdom. That teacher, you ever had a professor that you just love the way they carried themselves, how they gave you the information so good that you just love that subject, just the way that they presented it. Yes, let me have a conversation with Sheeta. I know you, if you was listening to that, the full somewhat meal is on episode 58. I thought that was deep. Let's have a conversation right now. Tell me something, because I heard reason. We didn't really discuss the reason. Some people just in your life for a minute, a nanosecond. Have you had anything like that happen? I mean, we all have, but can you remember a reason? Because we've been talking about season in a few episodes. Let's talk about why they in there for a reason, which I found to be extraordinary. And I'm going to tell you mine, but you can go ahead and tell me.
Yeah, actually, I've had it happen in relationships, but also in like my career.
Mhm.
So I've had it to where I just felt like I cannot seem to understand why I have to continue to work around this person, or why I'm having such a challenge with the supervisor. I don't get it. And so, what I learned was it through that process, I matured a lot spiritually, emotionally, and actually in age too, right? because because I was so young going into my field, I was actually growing up in it. And so I think if I hadn't went through some of those adversities, I wouldn't have been relying on God. I would have relied on myself, because I could make money and I could go to work, and those were all the things I could do. But this was something I couldn't control. And so I had to grow up spiritually so that I could see it for what it was and not like sabotage myself in a career.
Yes, I like that. I like that. And like she was she was just talking about even a career, because even in your career, I can give you an example. Well, I'm going to do an education. You know, a lot of people, I'm going to do education, but I'm going to go back to relationship. Unfortunately, we get into a relationship and day 3, we are so excited. We are like, oh my goodness, I want this to be my husband. And we went from hi, welcome into my area. How are you doing? Let's have dinner together. Let's have breakfast together. To, oh, let me see what kind of gown I'm gonna wear. I'm not saying that in circumstances, situations, or seasons, I have heard where somebody say, "Oh, I knew that was my husband." If we talk about married couples, but it's like because I counsel females, and a lot of times they want everything now, 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 now. And sometime, or should I say, God knows when you are ready for it, because she just said maturity. A lot of us want marriage now, but we really don't mature until we pass 40. Now, kudos to those that got married at 18 and they are still rolling. They accepted each other and grew together, manifested together. Now, how does that relate to education? Imagine if you prepare yourself and you go to the first day of college and you look at your professor and say, I want my degree right now. It's the preparation you have to go through. Yes, preparation. Now, of course, I got a podcast about that. But you have to prepare yourself. God will prepare you. If you walk with Him, talk with Him, He will prepare you for your next season. But He can't do it if you don't walk forward. Now, you say, Miss P, you're just talking. I mean, this is kind of hurt because I know what I wanted. I want it now. You can get it now. But what you might want to do is you want something that's going to last. You might want to go through the courses or lessons like you do in school before you get that final degree, which might be your marriage. Prepare yourself, prepare your daughters, prepare your sons for that season that you want. I'm not saying you cannot desire that great season. Prepare your kids, and you can still prepare yourself. I don't care if you're 50, 60. I got my degrees later in life. It was called preparation. And a lot of y'all have been in seasons where you have been painfully hurt because you was in the wrong season, or you stayed in the season for a long time. This is why I said a reason. You might meet somebody in school, on your job, that came only in your life to introduce you to your mate. That's what I mean for a reason. So don't knock those people that just came for something. You understand? You might meet somebody online. I mean, you get frustrated, and some people say, I want to go online, I want to meet somebody, I want to, but you went online for a reason to say, oh, you know what? I'm going to get up and I'm going to take up a hobby. I ain't got time to get online because it was so bad. And guess what? You turn around, you take up that hobby, and then your mate is standing right there. Everything happened for a reason. Now, we also have some good stuff in there. We have some nice stuff in there. And we're going to let Sheeta share, because I shake it up in the bag, but I give you something nice for you to sit back and just relax. Did you see anything or hear anything that was a little bit humorous?
Yes, yes, some of them you just have to check out the podcast to know more about your funny take on
Yeah.
forgiving, because that was really, really cool. But when you said that you could be in the curse season of messed up from the floor up, or you asked an important question, and it was funny, but I know we've all been down this road where you're so broken up over a breakup. And when you talk about preparing your kids, one of the things you talk about is asking, hey, that person's not gold, meaning that person is no more important than you are. And I was cracking up laughing because when you're younger, you do feel like, oh, if I lose this person, what am I going to do? What's my life going to be? So I thought it was really good. It kind of broke it up because it is a very deep topic and it is difficult, but it was great. I laughed a lot.
Thank you. I do have laughter in there because I am so raw. I mean, I come back and give you some cold water. I give you some cold water. And I mean, I want you to come, I want you to, relax and just explore. But I want you to explore the right things in your life so you can go and forth and do the things that you want to do. Start that business, start that YouTube. Some of you can cook, go on YouTube and show it. I was watching somebody cook the other day on YouTube, and I said, oh my goodness, they had everything together. I went deeper into a recipe, and they said, go to my website, had the website together. Then they had books. Do you understand? This person manifested all of this stuff. So they probably had a plan. They probably had a goal. So in conclusion, was there anything that stood out that you learned from this episode?
Yes, I got so much out of this episode, but I think the thing that really stuck out for me was having a coach for everything, to really help you navigate through the different seasons so that you don't become idle. And that was the thing, that just making those connections with people that can really help you along the way so that you can change your mindset and forgive the people in your life during those seasons so you can really, really get out of the wrong season and into the right season. So really good.
Ask, yes, yes, yes. That was, thank you so much, Sheeta. The conclusion from all of this is we want you to manifest. We want you to be in the right season. And I think Sheeta, she summed it up. I always said you have to have a coach for everything. You know, when you go to the dentist, somebody specialized in, you know, with working on your teeth. You're not going to go to the dentist when you need help in your mind. You're not going to go to your psychiatrist and say, I'm having problems with my feet. Do you understand? You can get a coach for everything. And some of you say, I just can't. I want a coach, but I can't. It's not in my budget at this time. So your conscious level need to come up. And what would do for you, I have a freebie, and one of them is 15-minute session. Look down Look down in the description and then look up because you're going to get this episode. Yes, this episode is going to be a lifesaver for many of you men or females. I want you to do one thing for me. Remember, if loving yourself is right, you don't want to be wrong.